Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another CYPRX video banger. In today's video, you guys are going to get an in-depth look into my crypto portfolio. I'm going to be discussing and talking about my price targets, some digital assets that I plan on selling in this next altcoin season that we are set to possibly experience over the next consecutive couple of months. As we head into 2025, I'm going to be digesting for you guys in this recording what it is that I plan on doing with my profit in order to keep, maintain, grow, and expand my wealth as we progress through the years to come. So with that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy this video breakdown. I'm going to just share some information with you guys today that I found was very interesting. Play a quick video of a panel discussion that took place of an individual representative from Franklin Templeton, even confirming kind of the strategy that I'm going to be talking about, which is selling some of my altcoins for stable coins and then putting those stable coins into yield-bearing platforms that are generating me passive income through the utilization of DeFi. Now, on today's video breakdown, I'm also going to be just quickly sharing some platforms with you guys that you might not know about that we talk about heavily in the CYPRX Wealth 28 Club. So as we progress through this video, we're going to transition. I'm going to be playing a video snippet of our private community Zoom call where I broke down my portfolio, broke down the amount of assets that I have and certain assets that I plan on selling at what price targets and what amount at the next bull market cycle, just to give you guys an in-depth perspective on what possibilities you all have as investors in this digital asset ecosystem. So first, I want to start with this little tiny video clip from Franklin Templeton, because again, none of this is really even possible unless we have institutional adoption. We know that retail traders can only drive so much market momentum. Well, we are on the precipice of experiencing massive institutional adoption, and I've done my part to show you guys in previous video breakdowns that institutions are 110% interested in earning yield on their digital assets, and they will be offering these solutions to their clients. You guys need to understand that DeFi is not some scam and that it will be regulated just like crypto will be regulated over the next consecutive couple of years. And just like in traditional finance, you will be able to earn yield on your digital assets. I mean, you can right now, but a lot of people are skeptical about that. However, again, you need to do research. So don't take it from me, take it from an individual representative. This is a gentleman from Franklin Templeton, a large asset manager who is attempting to bring $1.7 trillion of assets under management onto the blockchain. Take a second and listen to what he says about being able to earn yield on your stablecoins.
Yeah, we operate 9-to-5 businesses. We have to transform ourselves so we can operate in a 24/7 business, which is where you have to operate on chain. And I think from our perspective, we see 99% of the TVL is locked in stable coins, NFTs and cryptocurrencies. There's no reason why people can't have actively managed, professionally managed funds made available to them,
available to that user base.
We think that's we're working with we will do the first listed tokenized fund on a exchange here in Hong Kong, and we think that's giving we don't see that stable coins are a good proposition, that you give someone your money and they don't give you yield, because effectively inflation means that your purchasing power is less. So we just think fundamentally, if you don't want to speculate, if you want to risk off and park your money, you should earn the yield that so your money is at least worth the same amount with the inflation.
Right. So he literally just confirmed, we believe that if you want to park your money in a safe investment and you want to earn yield, we should be able to provide that for you. And that's going to happen 110%. So that has a big portion and a role in my investment strategy moving forward. After I take profits in this next bull market cycle, I don't just want to take profit and put my money into fiat, into traditional financial systems, into a bank account. I want to be earning yield. And I'm going to show you in today's video breakdown, again, how I plan on doing so. Now, obviously, of course, over time, this strategy could change as regulatory requirements come into this space and so on and so forth. This space matures. But right now, this is my primary focus, is earning yield, generating passive income by utilizing digital assets that I already have. So real fast, July 8th, 2024, I want to take you to the digitalcommonwealth.com website just to introduce this lady to you. If you guys don't remember from previous video breakdowns, who is this lady? She is Loretta Joseph, an expert legal advisor with more than a quarter of a century of experience in financial services. Loretta's extensive career has provided her with deep exposure to global financial markets, various asset classes, and emerging environments. She has advised various countries on developing legal and regulatory frameworks for virtual assets, and has also advised the OECD, the OSCE, while being an expert industry participant in many international standard-setting bodies concerning the adoption of virtual assets. And look at what she posted on her LinkedIn profile. Now, I can't sit here and say that I agree with her 100%, but I really enjoy reading her information and I really like her perspectives. So right here, she said about a week ago, to the moon, as we say in the crypto world. CBDCs, I think she meant here, will disappear and both non yielding and yield bearing stablecoins will thrive. Public and private money will have no choice but to coexist. Now, I think that CBDCs will continue to be a thing in the future. According to Loretta, she does not think that, but that's not my primary focus. My primary focus is that she confirms yield bearing stablecoins will survive. So, with that being said, take a second, sit back, relax, and listen to this portion of the private community Zoom call that I have with the Wealth 28 Club members, breaking down my portfolio and breaking down what I plan to do, selling some of my altcoins after this next run up for stablecoins to then transition into yield bearing platforms. Then, after you guys get through that Zoom call, we're going to jump back into the screen share and I'm going to share with you guys just a couple of quick platforms that we discuss and talk about in the Wealth 28 Club. So that way you guys can see physical proof that this is possible, not only in the now, but it will be possible after the next bull market cycle. So take a second and let's transition over to that Zoom call. Listen to what it is I have to say. So I said to you guys in the chat, because there's no real fundamental briefing today, that I was going to go over my next bull run strategy, if you want to call it that. Honest to God, after typing it out for you guys, I kind of feel like it's fucking lame. But I want to break down for you guys and just be transparent and honest on what it is that I'm trying to do. And honest to God, I'm trying to not have to trade anymore. Like, I'm still going to trade. Obviously, of course, it's my passion, but god damn, man, I want to freaking travel and generate enough passive income to make the same amount of money that I'm making now in trading passively. So, in any given month now in trading, I make a minimum of $3,000 and a maximum. I think the biggest month that I've made is like 34 grand. I would love to make $34,000 in passive income. So that way, if I do want to trade, it's maybe like once or twice per month, right? So my goal this bull market cycle is to take profit in certain assets. For this example, I'm going to be utilizing Brett, XDC, and Hbar, which are the biggest holdings that I have. And I'm going to break down for you guys how much I plan on selling at what specific levels I plan on selling at, and then how much I plan on depositing into stable coins that are going to earn me yield. So right now, the total value of my portfolio, I have blacked out all the assets that I have in the amount because there's no point in fixating your attention on that. My portfolio is worth about 518,000. At this most recent peak in the run, it was worth about 530,000. So it's down right now about 10 grand. Up 24 hours, about $30,000. So I finally passed the 500,000 mark, which is pretty cool because just a couple of weeks ago, it was at like 350 or $350,000 or something like that. So this recent pump has put me on the board to surpass 500,000, which is pretty cool. It was a really enlightened feeling. So let's break this down. So I literally, and again, this is a strategy that you guys can use artificial intelligence to our advantage. I literally just typed out my plan in artificial intelligence and asked it to revamp, organize it, and strategically present it in a way so that way I can present it to you guys so you can easily understand it. So, taking this revamped version, let's break this down. My objective after this next bull market cycle is to build a stable coin portfolio of a minimum of $200,000 to $500,000 to earn anywhere between 7 to 20% annual yield on DeFi platforms. Now, I don't know right now off the top of my head what DeFi platforms those are going to be in the future. Right now, I'm utilizing Aerodrome and VFAT. That could change. Who knows? As the DeFi ecosystem progresses, maybe new platforms come out that I'm more comfortable with, and maybe regulations become more mature and other DeFi platforms remain and others go away. Who knows? Right now, I believe that staying diversified between two platforms and being comfortable operating on those platforms is fine for now, but that might change in the future moving forward. This would be achieved, like I said, by taking profits from select assets. So I'm going to be utilizing Hbar in my portfolio, XDC, and Brett to accomplish this. During the current bull market cycle, other assets that I have in my portfolio will remain untouched to generate me passive income through DeFi and ecosystems over the long term. So I used XRP as an example. A lot of people ask me what I plan on and when I plan on selling my XRP. Personally, I don't. After paying back myself for my initial investment, if we reach all-time highs or surpass it, I'll probably take, I don't know, maybe like 70 grand out. But outside of that, I'll probably never sell any of my XRP. I'll probably keep it, earn yield on it, lend, borrow against it, so on and so forth in some way, shape, or form, no matter if it's $50 or a dollar, use it in DeFi once the DeFi ecosystem matures, pass it on to my kids, and just earn the yield and bank on the yield while my kids are still holding the assets, and then they can maybe do the same or whatever they want to do after I die. Okay. And I honestly plan on doing that with all my assets. Like I have Algo, I have Quant, I have Link, I have all these assets that we're going to see a maturation in the DeFi ecosystems moving forward. And so that's why I'm telling you guys, like, my next bull run move here is not really that like extravagant. I plan on selling Brett, XDC, and HBAR, and any other thing outside of that, I'm going to probably just hold for the long run, 2030 and beyond. Okay. So let's go over this plain overview. Assets to sell for stablecoin portfolio. Remember, my goal is a minimum of 200 to 500,000. I personally believe that I'm going to achieve well beyond that this next bull market cycle. As you can see, my current portfolio is actively trading at my highest minimum, $500,000. So if I sold all of my crypto right now, I could achieve that and probably fucking retire off of DeFi right now, but that's not the goal right now. So assets to sell for stablecoin portfolio, HBAR. My current holdings, I hold, 1.3 million units. Current price trading on HBAR right now is about 12 cents. The price targets that I have, if you guys want to write this down, I plan on selling 50% of my HBAR, which is about 650,000 units at 50 cents. So that's not even the previous all-time high, which I think that this next bull market cycle HBAR is going to significantly surpass. But 50 cents on HBAR, I've already emailed Caleb and Brown. They will sell 50% of my HBAR holdings at 50 cents. Okay, so 650,000 units of HBAR at 50 cents. And then my second bullish target on HBAR is $1.50. So I plan on selling an additional 20% of that initial 1.3 million units of HBAR at $1.50 if those targets are met. And if not, then I'll just hold it. Okay. And I plan on selling 260,000 units at $1.50. The remaining 30% of that initial 1.3 million units, which is about 390,000 units of HBAR, I will be holding for the long term to utilize in DeFi in the future and never sell. Okay. XDC. My current holdings in XDC, I have about 800,000 units, give or take. It was like 800,000 and like 56 units or something. So I just rounded it off to 800,000. The current price of XDC is 4 cents, give or take a few decimal points. Target prices I have for this next bull market cycle on XDC. First target is 50 cents. That is my only target right now for this next bull market cycle on XDC. Personally, do I think it's going to go higher? Absolutely. 110%. I think it's going to go way higher than that. But for me to sell into stable coins, this is my target. So I plan on selling 50% of my XDC units, which comes in at about 40,000 units. And I will retain the remaining 50%, 400,000 units for the long-term DeFi, like staking, so on and so forth. A lot of these assets I plan on staking, like my XLR, XDC, Link, ICP, all these assets that you can just stake. I don't really plan on like utilizing them to provide liquidity. I just honestly plan on staking, staking and then just holding long-term, continuing to generate yield, which is why I want to build a stable coin portfolio. So that way it's stable and I'm constantly earning yield on that. And then Brett. Brett is my sellout bag. So I plan on selling all of my Brett after this next bull market cycle personally, because I freaking cannot stand the like rhetoric and the mentality around meme coins. It just never was my forte. But the fundamentals backing Brett as to why I purchased it are just like straight up in comparison to a utility asset. Okay, so that's why I bought Brett. And I told you guys about Brett when it was trading at 300 million market cap. It's now trading well above $1 billion market cap. Okay. So my current holdings, I hold about 500,000 units, give or take, of Brett. Current price is at 16 cents right now. Target prices I have for Brett for this next bull market cycle are $1 and $2. I personally think it's going to go way beyond that. But again, I can't be greedy. And if we meet these targets, I have to sell to meet my objectives. So I plan on selling 50%, 250,000 units of my Brett at 500,000 units starting. And the remaining 50%, the next 250,000 units, I plan on selling at $2. This is my full exit position here. Unlike HBAR and XDC, where I will retain some, I plan on selling completely out of Brett after this next bull market cycle if these targets are achieved. Okay. So calculation stablecoin portfolio, HBAR at 50 cents. Units sold comes in at 650,000. That means that I will have about $325,000 USD outside of paying taxes on that money. So obviously, of course, give or take, minusing about 20 to 40%, depending on my tax bracket at that point in time, will obviously be accounted for, but that's not accounted for in this analysis. At $1.50, selling 260,000 units, I'll come up on about $390,000 cash. And in total, if both of those HBAR targets are met, I'm looking at about $715,000 in stablecoins, obviously, of course, outside of paying taxes. On XDC, I'm just going to blip through this. Total sales will be about $200,000 USD. Okay. And I'll retain about 400,000 units in DeFi for the future. I forgot to mention that for HBAR DeFi future, again, just staking, providing liquidity, borrowing, lending, whatever I want to do with my remaining HBAR, I'll have about 390,000 units left. For Brett, completely selling out of this position, if both of these targets are met, I will have about 750,000 US dollars, of course, not including taxes. So adding all of this up, remember my minimum expectation for this next bull market cycle is 500,000 to 200,000 minimum. But you can clearly see that if my targets are met this next bull market cycle, I will supersede that extensively. So the total amount of USD stablecoins, depending on which one I decide to sell into, I'll probably diversify into like dollar, maybe even some euro stable coins, probably USDC, maybe even some USDT just to fuck around and find out, you know? But I'm looking at about $1.6 million after this next bull market cycle if all these targets and objectives are achieved, which obviously, of course, I don't have a crystal ball. So hopefully it is. Okay. Now, most people would foam out of the mouth with $1.6 million. To me, that's chump change. I have properties that amount to the same amount of money. So to me, it's not really a lot. So what I plan on doing with this, like I said, I would like to not necessarily retire because I'll still be here. I'll still be trading. I'll still be active in the markets, but I would like to not feel like I have to be. Okay. So with the total potential of $1.6 million from these sales, it says here, according to ChatGPT, I will significantly exceed my minimum expectation of 200 to 500,000. Gave me some things to monitor, setting alerts and some alarms. But I plan on sticking all of this $1.6 million in stable coins. So you guys can do that math on how much, even on a low ball, if I was to stick that into a yield bearing platform that was just earning me 5% on this money, I'd be making, you know, well over $100,000, $200,000 minimum per year on this money. And then on the high end, on stable coins alone, safe platforms that I've seen offer upwards of 17 to 20%, which is what I'm going to aim for. If I can make 17% consistently on $1.6 million, I will feel super accomplished after this next bull market cycle. So that is my game plan. Right now, the only assets in my portfolio this next cycle I plan on selling are HBAR, XDC, and Brett. A lot of people, again, in my personal opinion, are gonna sell too early because they don't have a plan like this. I'm not sitting here saying that my plan is perfect, and I'm not sitting here telling you guys to have the exact same plan, but you know, look at the remaining assets that I'm keeping for myself to hold long term, 2030 and beyond. You know, 400,000 units of XDC. I think XDC is going to be way worth more than $2, $3, $4, $5 in the future, especially if they do facilitate problems and things that are happening in global trade finance, which is a $19 trillion industry right now. Okay. Same thing with HBAR. I mean, I couldn't even imagine what the price of HBAR is going to be in 2035, and I still have 390,000 units. So after breaking this down for you guys, what I suggest is that you take the time, you look at your portfolio, and you gather yourself some bullish targets that are very realistic this next cycle. I would just assume that the vast majority of assets that we talk about in this community, if they haven't already, for example, like soy and some others, give or take, are going to at least surpass their all-time high or at least tap in to their all-time high this next market cycle. You guys can most likely equally assume the same thing. So based on profit taking off of, at a minimum, at least previous all-time highs. Like, for example, if you hold XLM, I would assume that XLM this next bull market cycle is at least going to go back to $1. It's trading at 20 cents right now. Is it still a good buy? Yeah, if it goes back to $1, you have to be able to stomach the downside risk if it drops back down to 4 cents and you just recently bought at 20, still understanding that the upside potential from 20 cents where you bought today, or what is it at, 22 cents or something like that, is still massive upside potential. Okay. So create some type of profit taking strategy around previous all-time highs, even if that's just, you make a $10,000 profit at previous all-time highs. Well, you can take that, turn it into stable coins and earn yield on it and just constantly pay yourself while you wait for a market pullback or a next cycle to deploy that money or redeploy that money. Okay. Um, a lot of people, in my opinion, are going to mess up this next market cycle because they're too fixated on price predictions. When if you really zoom out and understand where this market's going over the next 5 to 10 years, this next market cycle is not shit. It's honestly not going to be the one, guys. I mean, it might be a big one, but let's just look at 2026 to 2027, and then let's fast forward what this space is going to look like in 2035. It's not going to be the same. It's just 100% facts. So, to each his own. Obviously, of course, you guys are going to have to hold these assets to hit these targets. So if you don't hold Hbar and you hold more XLM, generate your targets and your profit taking around XLM logical targets, right? Same thing with XRP. If you hold a lot of XRP, I personally don't plan on selling any of my XRP outside of my initial investment, and I will do that probably at previous all-time highs. Okay. Just be strategical. Think long term and think, how are you going to survive and pay yourself consistently without having to sit at your computer? That should be the goal for everybody here because it's 100% possible. I mean, even if you just put this next market cycle, let's just say you put $100,000 minimum in stable coins that's earning 17%, you make 17 grand a year doing nothing. That's astronomical, right? And then that's not even accounting for if every single month you get paid, you take that money and you just put it back into your position. So you're going to be making more than 17 grand a year because you're going to be compounding and compounding and compounding. And I firmly believe that even if you have, I don't know, just a couple $1,000s in your portfolio, this bull market cycle, it's probably going to turn into 5 to 6 figures this market cycle. Like one of you guys was messaging me in text today. I'm not going to say who, but your 5 figure portfolio just turned into 6 figures, you know? So you need to start assessing what you can do with 6 figures now that you've reached that bracket and how you can allocate those funds to maintain that wealth that you've accumulated. And we're going to be able to do that through stable coins and through DeFi. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm deploying into stable coins is so that way I can eliminate or mitigate the risk to impermanent loss, or if this market does fluctuate in the future or create, some downside price volatility after we pull profit, I can avoid that. Okay. So I hope that this gave you guys kind of an insight on what I plan on doing this next market cycle. We can just kind of leave the floor open for questions, I guess, if you guys have any. But like I said, this is pretty boring. I only plan on selling 3 freaking assets this next cycle. So welcome back. Now that you guys have heard my strategy in depth, my plan on what it is that I look on doing after this next market cycle and with which assets I plan on doing so with, keep in mind that none of that is financial advice. And even if those targets do or do not come into fruition, I will adjust my strategy and my bias according to the changing tides. So now let me just show you guys real fast before we wrap up this video breakdown, as you guys can see here. Okay, I just want to show you guys quick examples. None of this is financial advice. I'm not telling you guys to go out there and deploy on these platforms, but just to show you guys. Okay, I talked about deploying in a stable coin liquidity pools or into just stablecoin yield bearing platforms. Look at this. This is Aerodrome, one of the best performing dexes of this year, if not the past 2 years. Here you can see on $1 USDC, you can earn 14%, which is 2 stable coins. On USDZ, USDC, you can earn 15%. Here's 19% on stable coins, 17%, 11%, 8% on stable coins on the USDC plus pool. Okay. Then if you head over, here's another platform, and I'm just going to show you guys multiple examples so that way you don't get fixated on one platform. This is from Crystal. Okay, here you can see best stablecoin pools. They have 21% offerings on stablecoin pools, 20%, 16%, 14%. All right, so just to show you guys that this is all possible, here's another platform. This is Beefy. On Beefy, they have a single compound strategy here on USDC that's earning 15%. Okay, up here they have a dollar USDC pool that's earning 13%. Okay, and they have multiple different chains in which you can deploy on this platform. And then even for more familiar people that are, holding Hbar, because I used Hbar as an example. Look at this. This is on Saucer Swap. And their Saucer Swap V2 pools right here. They have USDC, USDT, where you can earn an upwards of 27% on stablecoins. Now, I know that a lot of people are like, oh, USDT, well, I don't want to do that. Okay, that's fine. You have other options. Here's a USDC pool right here on Saucer Swap V2 that can earn you an upwards of 43% APR. Now, obviously, of course, these APRs fluctuate, so they're not locked in, they're not consistent. They do fluctuate, but still, as of time of recording this video breakdown, you guys have now seen the potential. So take that into consideration when you're watching these bullish moon boys that are giving you guys these bullish moon boy targets, and they're talking about becoming millionaires. What are you going to do with your money after you become a millionaire? As you guys saw on that Zoom call recording, if all of my target thresholds are met, next year, or as we head into 2026, with the assets that I plan on selling, I will have about $1.6 million before taxes to deploy into DeFi stablecoin yield-bearing platforms, which will earn me a significant amount of passive income and generate passive income for myself on a granular scale. And that is not even considering any other bullish targets in my portfolio that I didn't even go over that could possibly be met. But I just wanted to give you guys that example to show you all the potential possibilities through the utilization of DeFi that you have to maintain, keep, and grow your wealth after this next bull market cycle. So don't forget that we're having a holiday special in the Wealth 28 Club. Right now, you guys can get 20% off your first month to take our DeFi University. Literally hundreds of video breakdowns breaking down to you guys what DeFi is, how we are deploying in the DeFi ecosystem with thousands of dollars right now of our own capital exposed to this ecosystem, putting our money where our mouth is at, getting into detailistic perspectives on how to deploy on these DEXs, utilizing different wallets, different chains, different networks, so on and so forth. Go take the course, go educate yourself so that way you at least know what is possible. Again, use holiday28, all caps, no space, at the CYPRX checkout page for the Wealth 28 Club to get 20% off your first month. We would love to have you on the team. That discount code is going to be available till December 31st. However, there are only 30 promo codes available for use. So make sure that you go get your spot now while it lasts. Many blessings to you guys. Smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. I do appreciate the love and the support. As always, bringing you all the realest information, keeping you all in the loop, and hopefully getting you guys to really understand how you're going to be able to secure your digital wealth moving forward. This is one of the many ways in which you can do so. As always, be cognizant, be aware out there, and I'll see you all in the next video breakdown.